Hello, I'm a 71-year-old pensioner who over 9 months OVO energy has managed to push to the edge. I won't go into too much detail as we all have similar stories, just to say that around 9 months ago I got a bill for an account I never knew I had. After going through the usual channels and getting nowhere, I eventually wrote to the CEO and was passed a resolution team. I've rarely met with such inefficiency and lack of empathy in my life. 10 days was the usual time to reply to one of my increasingly desperate emails. 3 months into this debacle, they eventually wholeheartedly agreed that it had been their mistake. Even then, I could get no sympathetic or understandable explanation of what had really happened and as to why I had been put through such great stress. I was understandably very upset about all this. In fact, my wife wrote to them without my knowledge, saying that she was worried that I was becoming suicidal. I happily admit to having a history of mental problems, and I even swallowed my pride and sent them my psychiatrist's report to show them that this ill treatment was having a seriously detrimental effect. This was met with silence. I got so desperate trying to communicate with them over the phone that I eventually did threaten suicide unless they sorted it out. Let's stop here to say that I wouldn't have done this, but desperate circumstances need desperate measures. 9 months have now passed and I've been dealing with the Ombudsman, which has meant more wasted time. The verdict has been reached. Despite the Ombudsman finding that they were completely at fault, I've been offered just £250 goodwill and an apology. I asked for £10,000 to be paid into a mental health charity. I don't want to profit out of this. Even now, if you put me on a rack, I could still not really explain what happened and why everything has been so long and torturous. My story is just one of many stories, but things are getting worse. OVO has at least 3 BBC articles about the way they treat people, and they seem out of control. They are simply relying on people just turning over and giving up. Well, they've met the wrong person here. For a start, I've written to my MP, who is taking this matter very seriously. I would implore that rather than just tell your friends about these experiences, to write to your MP. His email is easily accessible on the internet, and it takes 5 minutes to write a polite letter. I would also encourage you to write to the company CEO. An internet site exists which lists every CEO's email. Just search CEO's emails and you'll find it. I've also written to all the price comparison companies on whom companies like OVO now rely. Surprisingly, several actually took my complaint seriously and were very sympathetic. Unfortunately, as I hadn't a contract through them, they were in no position to do anything, but at all accounts eventually. This is a really serious business, as the post office scandal illustrates, but it is clearly not just confined to that company. I know of 2 people who sat in the back of a car and gassed themselves over this sort of pressure from companies, so please just do something. You may not get a result, but at least you can hold your head up and say, I tried. Remember, we're all in this together. Companies such as OVO seem to have completely forgotten that they exist for us rather than the other way around. The only thing they respect is bad publicity and when ordinary people turn around en masse and say no. I implore you not to simply say to yourself, what on earth can I do? Just do something, however small. If enough people do that, then companies such as OVO will get the message. Otherwise, yet more people will be driven over the edge, and it may be you. Thank you very much.